New Trump health fears have absolutely exploded because Donald Trump's bruised hands are now being covered up with very obvious makeup, and he has both ankles notably swollen. Wow. And they don't tell us a damn thing. So let's start here, okay? First and foremost, you may recall that for a while now, Trump's right hand at the top of the hand, right, has been bruised, notably bruised and swollen. In new video from the White House just hours ago, you see that Donald Trump is now very obviously covering the bruise with makeup that doesn't quite match the color of his skin, sort of like what he does to his face, quite frankly. And you can see the swollen hand, the makeup, and this bump. The bruise could be from an IV, could be from a large number of things. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Trump's ankles are very swollen. They seem almost wider than his shoe. Speculation, is he wearing very strong compression stockings? Is this bilateral edema? What is this? We just don't know. Now, we are left in a position to speculate because, number one, this isn't normal. There's audio. The audio doesn't really matter. There's visual evidence of this. And the White House insists that Trump is just so damn healthy as a horse. Nobody's ever been healthier than Trump. It's incredible. And so we are left to sort of ask the question, what can cause this combination of symptoms? One of the things that keeps coming up online is congestive heart failure. Of course, not something that the White House has disclosed. You can get peripheral edema due to congestive heart failure, very common in older folks who are overweight. Fluid builds up in the legs, right? Gravity pulls it down. Bilateral ankle swelling is a common aspect of it. Possible jugular venous distension, shortness of breath, right? We don't know. Trump does breathe very heavily. And you can also explain the bruising because Trump's veins are fragile, could be poor vascular integrity, blood thinners, a whole bunch of different things. Secondly, could this be the result of some medication? Could it be, if you put elderly folks on warfarin or other anticoagulants, also known as blood thinners, that can cause some of this. It causes easy bruising, especially on the hands and the arms, especially after a blood draw or getting an IV. Now, the White House previously said the bruises on Trump's hands are because he's so vigorously and passionately shaking hands with people. I think you can sort of do the math yourself and say to yourself, could you really get a huge bruise on the top of the hand from a handshake? Doesn't really make sense, but easy bruising as a result of blood thinners in an IV spot for something that hasn't been disclosed that Trump is getting via IV, certainly a possibility. And then there's also something called chronic venous insufficiency, common in older, overweight, sedentary folks with Trump, which Trump is. And what can happen is basically damaged leg veins aren't returning blood effectively. So that builds up and you see that lower leg swelling. You can see skin changes. You can see varicose veins. So there's a very long list of other things. This is the more common stuff. If they were transparent, we would know. And instead, Trump's doctor says, this guy is so damn healthy, nobody can believe it. And of course, no, we don't believe it. That's exactly right. We don't believe it. And the bigger picture of all of this is we know they are dishonest about Trump's health while obsessing about Biden's health, even now that Biden's no longer in office. And we know what's going on with Biden. He's got metastatic prostate cancer. So we go back to the first term of Trump. They've already tried to cover up the state of Trump's health when Trump had COVID, and they flew him by helicopter to Walter Reed. There was dishonesty and deception all over the place. I know this is not new information to many in the audience, but I think it's important to be thorough and remind people who have not seen that segment. We were given one picture of Trump's health when he had COVID and we were told that he was brought to Walter Reed simply because he's the president out of an abundance of caution. The real reason we ultimately found out was that doctors were concerned based on the trajectory of Trump's COVID, that if he waited at home, he might have to be taken to the hospital on a stretcher. and that the optics of that would be so disastrous. Trump didn't want it. The people around Trump didn't want it. They said, let's just get him to the hospital early. You might remember once Trump was in the hospital, we had these daily briefings during which we would often hear questions like, did Trump receive oxygen? And the answers would be cagey, and they would sort of be like, the president is not currently on oxygen. And we figured out, oh, actually, he clearly did get oxygen at one point in time. So we don't have to speculate that they would try to hide Trump's medical conditions because they already did. And now the pictures in the video leave absolutely no doubt. The swollen legs, the bruised and made up hands. By the way, who wears hand makeup unless you're covering something up? We do need to get the truth because this is the president of the United States after all. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Make sure you're on my Substack, substack.davidpakman.com. I've been researching my family tree for years, and the tool that I keep coming back to is MyHeritage. I started using it long before they ever became a sponsor. And what I love about MyHeritage, what really makes it powerful, are the features that simplify building the family tree. The other day, I used instant discoveries to uncover an entire new branch of my family I didn't even know existed with just a single click. I also found an old black and white photo of a relative, and I used MyHeritage's photo colorizer tool to really bring it to life. It's amazing what you can uncover: immigration papers, census scans, records from over 33 billion historical documents. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm showing a scan of an immigration document from when a relative of my mom arrived at Ellis Island, which I found on MyHeritage, which just makes it easy and fun. Maybe you're just getting started with your family tree. Maybe you're picking up where a family member left off. It's a great time to dive in, and you can try it totally free for 14 days by going to davidpakman.com/myheritage. The link is in the description.